So we're taking a look at Assassin's Creed Rogue running on the i5-1135G7. This is currently at 1080p at the lowest possible settings, and the performance is not great. You're going to find that there's going to be a lot of FPS fluctuation, and it's going to make the timing of combat kind of difficult. I personally would not recommend playing like this. I understand that it's very similar to console quality settings, but consoles tend to have more consistent FPS than these 1% lows, which are just extremely brutal and make the experience of playing the game at 1080p pretty much impossible. You could certainly get away with it if you have some masochistic tendencies, but for the most part, I feel like most people are going to have a much better time playing at 720p. 1080p isn't completely out of the question though, so it is potentially possible to play like this if you're willing to tolerate the FPS drop. So if resolution is the most important thing to you, you can get away with 1080p. You're just going to have a far better experience if you're playing at 720p. Actually, moving over to 720p, we can see what the performance uplift is like. At 720p, we're actually keeping a very consistent 60 FPS, which is the cap of this game. I couldn't really get it to go any further than that, so 60 FPS is what we're capped at, but it does give us really good performance. And the CPU, or rather the GPU and CPU, are both really not doing much of anything, so we're actually even using less wattage than what we would normally expect. Overall, this is actually some pretty fantastic performance. And I'm glad to see that when you're sailing around, you get to experience it really well. It doesn't perform badly at all here. It actually does a fantastic job out in the water. So, I mean, if you can't play Sea of Thieves on this, at least you can play this.